Well, 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 December, isn't it? The end of the year, the grand finale. Oh, how poetic. The cold winds blow, the world slows down, and here you are, still standing, still breathing, still fighting. Despite everything they threw at you, you're here. And that, my dear friend, is what they don't understand. You are not defeated. Oh no, not yet. They thought your kindness was weakness. Your silence, submission. They saw your patience as a pathetic waiting game. But you and I, we know better, don't we? Your patience wasn't for them, it was for something bigger. Something they cannot comprehend. You see, God was watching. He saw every tear they caused, every sleepless night, every moment you felt invisible. And do you know what he did? He kept track. Oh, yes, he kept score. You may have felt abandoned, unheard, left to carry the weight of their torment all alone. But God was there. Quiet, yes, silent perhaps, but present, watching, taking notes. And do you know what happens next? Ah, they never do. They think they've won when the game hasn't even begun. You see, December isn't just an ending, it's a promise. A promise that your suffering wasn't for nothing. Because when the clock strikes midnight and the new year arrives, oh my friend, the tables will turn. Justice doesn't sleep, and divine justice never forgets. Here's the funny part, they think they got away with it. They think the pain they caused you has vanished, like smoke in the wind. But pain isn't wasted. Oh no, pain is transformed. God takes that pain and turns it into power, into blessings, into rewards so unimaginable that even you will wonder how you survived without them for so long. That's the part they won't see coming. They built their towers of torment out of your bones, they laughed while you suffered, and they never looked back. But next year, oh, next year they will look back, and they won't believe what they see. Because God isn't blind to suffering. He doesn't allow cruelty to go unanswered. He is not the author of chaos they were. And now he's writing the plot twist. The tables will turn, the curtain will rise, and suddenly you will be the star of the show. Your struggles were not for nothing. Your tears watered the very ground where your blessings will grow. Every ounce of patience you held onto, every moment you wanted to scream and didn't, every insult you swallowed, every heartbreak you endured was seen.
Please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. So all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
Every moment was a seed planted in the garden of your future. And here's the thing about gardens, they bloom when the time is right. Not a second earlier, not a second later. God has his seasons, and next year is your season. They won't understand it, of course. They'll look at your life, your joy, your peace, your success, and they'll say it came out of nowhere. But you and I know better, don't we? It came out of patience, out of sacrifice, out of trusting that the same God who allowed your suffering was preparing your victory. Oh, they'll pretend not to notice it first. They'll tell themselves you just got lucky, that life is unfair. But deep down in the quiet moments when they're alone, they'll know the truth. They'll know that the torment they caused you became the very thing that brought you closer to your blessings. They mocked you for being patient. They laughed while you sat in silence, believing their cruelty had broken you. But patience is not weakness, it's strength in disguise. It's knowing that God's timing is worth the wait, even when it feels unbearable. And your patience? Oh, it will be rewarded. You'll look back at this December someday and smile, because this isn't the end of your story, it's the prelude, the foundation, the dark before the dawn. And when the light comes, it will be so blinding, so brilliant, that they won't know what hit them. God doesn't play favorites, but he doesn't let kindness go unnoticed. He doesn't let love be abused without consequence. He doesn't allow the righteous to be trampled forever. Your patience was for him, not them. You knew, even in your darkest moments, that justice belongs to God. Oh, they'll watch you next year. Trust me, they'll watch. From afar, in silence, behind closed doors. They'll pretend they're not paying attention, but they'll see every victory, every smile, every moment of peace you fought so hard to earn. And regret. Oh, regret will be their shadow, following them everywhere they go. Regret will whisper in their ears, you had someone extraordinary, and you broke them. They'll carry that with them, forever wondering what life could have been if they had treated you with care, if they had loved you the way you deserved. But now it's too late, because your story isn't tied to theirs anymore. You've let go of their torment, their chaos, their endless games. You've risen above it, carried by something greater, by faith, by purpose, by the knowledge that God saw everything, and he won't let it go unanswered. And next year? Oh, next year the reward will be so much sweeter because of the struggle that came before it. The suffering won't define you. No, it will refine you. It will polish you until you shine so brightly that even they can't look away. You see, God is a master of irony. The very people who tormented you will have front row seats to your triumph. They'll see you rise higher than they ever imagined, and they won't be able to touch you. You'll be untouchable, not because of revenge, but because of grace. And that's what they won't understand. You didn't seek revenge. You didn't fight fire with fire. You didn't stoop to their level. You trusted God to handle it, and now he's preparing a feast in your honor. Next year, you'll see why it had to hurt so much, why you had to wait so long, why you had to endure their torment. The rewards will be so much greater than you can imagine. Because God doesn't just give you back what you lost, he gives you more. More love, more peace, more joy. He restores what was broken and makes it beautiful. And them? They'll watch it all unfold, helpless to stop it. Their torment of you will become their greatest regret. And regret, my friend, is a cruel companion. So let them laugh now. Let them mock you, underestimate you, dismiss you. Because the joke isn't on you, it's on them. They just don't know it yet. Come next year, they'll see. They'll see what patience can do, what faith can build, what God can restore. And when they do, oh, how small they will feel. Because you are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are chosen, blessed, and ready for everything God has in store. Ah, you want more? Oh, I'm not done yet. Settle in. The show is far from over, my friend. Because when God moves in your favor, it's not subtle, it's spectacular. They thought they could bury you under the weight of their torment. They thought the insults, the betrayals, the heartbreak they inflicted would crush you into dust. But here's the thing, they forgot seeds are buried too. And when the time is right, when the soil has been nourished by all the tears you shed, those seeds bloom. What they buried will rise. What they tried to destroy will flourish. And next year, as they watch you glow from afar, they'll wonder how it's possible. How someone they tried to break could shine so brightly. But you see, God doesn't just lift you back to where you were, he takes you higher. He makes a spectacle of restoration. He shows the world that no matter how much they tried to tear you down, his plan was always greater. Oh, and don't worry about the apologies that never came. They thought staying silent would make it go away, that ignoring the mess they made would erase it. But silence isn't an escape, it's an echo, and their silence will come back to haunt them. Because regret doesn't knock on the front door, it slips in through the cracks, through the quiet moments when they're alone with their thoughts. They will replay the moments in their heads, the look in your eyes when you still believed in them, the way your voice cracked when you asked them to be kind, the times you forgave when you had no reason to. And then they'll see it clear as day they were the problem. Not you. Never you. You were the blessing they chose to break, the miracle they were too blind to see. And now regret has taken your place. Regret will wrap its cold arms around them at night. It'll whisper your name in the silence. It'll remind them of the kind of love they'll never get again. Oh, they'll try to silence it. They'll fill their days with noise, with distractions, with cheap substitutes for the real thing. But regret doesn't sleep. It doesn't let go. It lingers forever. Next year, you won't recognize the person you were this December. The version of you that cried, that broke, that begged for understanding. Oh, they won't exist anymore. Because God is preparing you for something greater, something that will make every ounce of suffering worth it. The tears you shed this year, they'll water the garden of your blessings. The silence you endured, it'll be replaced by laughter that rings so loudly it drowns out their memory. And when they see you smile again, truly smile, oh, it'll burn. It'll sting worse than any fire, because they'll know they had the chance to keep that smile, to protect it, to cherish it, and they threw it away. People like them always learn the hard way when it's too late to turn back, too late to fix the damage, too late to undo the heartbreak. Let them look for you in others. Let them chase ghosts. Let regret cling to their backs like a shadow. Because you, my dear, are done carrying their weight. You've suffered enough, given enough, broken enough. It's your turn now. Your turn to heal, to grow, to claim the happiness that was always meant for you. Because this December isn't your end, it's your rebirth. It's the moment you say goodbye to their torment and hello to God's reward. Next year they'll learn what it feels like to lose someone who gave them everything. And you'll learn what it feels like to be free. Let the countdown begin. Let the fireworks explode. A new year is coming, and this time it's yours. And as the clock ticks closer to midnight, let them feel the weight of everything they lost. Let the memories of you, your kindness, your patience, your love linger in their minds like a haunting melody they can't escape. You were the light they took for granted, and now they'll stumble through the darkness they created for themselves. Because next year is your year. God has seen it all, the battles you fought silently, the storms you weathered alone, and He's preparing something so magnificent that even you won't believe it at first. So hold your head high, my friend. Walk into the new year with grace, with strength, and with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that what's coming is better than anything they left behind. Your patience has been heard, and your reward is on its way. Let the story begin. Let December be the last chapter of their torment. Let January be the first chapter of your redemption. And when they see you rise, let them remember one thing: you didn't do it alone. God saw it all, and He always rewards those who endure.
The road to hell is a nicely paved highway. You just walk right down. You've got no obstacles, and it leads you to a life of mediocrity. Because you are afraid to take that road that's really bumpy, full of a bunch of shit that will fucking kill you. It's not paved. That road on over there is the road to your personal greatness, and it's going to be super tough, but it will be worth it. Choose the hard road. Life isn't some smooth, easy ride. The road to mediocrity, that's the highway most people take. It's clean. It's simple. It's predictable. You don't have to think. You don't have to fight. You just walk. And before you know it, you're in the middle of nothing. A life so empty it echoes. That's what happens when you're afraid to bleed, afraid to sweat, afraid to break. But that other road, that's where the real ones go. The road to greatness is jagged, it's messy, it's brutal. You'll trip, you'll fall, you'll crawl through mud that stinks of every fear you've ever buried. It's not lit with streetlights. It's lit by the fire you bring to it. And trust me, the world will try to douse that fire. Pain, failure, self-doubt. They're all waiting for you out there like wolves, ready to tear into you. But here's the truth. The hard road will make you unbreakable. Every stumble, every scar, every moment when you want to quit but don't, it's carving you into something sharper, stronger, unstoppable. The world doesn't hand greatness to cowards. It's earned by those willing to walk into the storm, not around it. So ask yourself, are you going to stay on that easy path, living half of a life, scared of the fight? Or are you going to step up, lace up, and take the hard road no matter how ugly it gets? You think greatness is waiting for you? Number, it's hiding, buried deep behind every obstacle you don't want to face. It's laughing at your excuses. It's daring you to show up when the world says you can't. The hard road doesn't care about your feelings, your comfort, or your fear. It's there to test if you've got what it takes. And most don't. Most tap out the second they feel the heat. But you're not most, are you? You've got the spark, the whisper in your gut telling you that you're meant for more. Please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. Support the channel by purchasing a Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Enjoy the rest of the video. That whisper doesn't come easy, and it doesn't come for free. You've got to fight for it every damn day. You've got to wake up, look at the hard road, and say, let's fucking go. You'll sweat. You'll bleed. You'll break down and cry when no one's watching. But every step you take on that road builds something inside you that no one can steal. It's the kind of strength that turns pain into fuel. It's the kind of mindset that makes the impossible a starting point. Every excuse, every shortcut, every "I'll do it tomorrow" belongs on that smooth highway to hell. Burn those bridges. Set fire to the easy way out. Because every step you take on the hard road will bring you closer to the version of yourself you were born to be. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to do the work for you. It's you versus you out there, every single second. So, what's it going to be? The easy life of regret, or the hard road of unstoppable pride? Let me ask you something. When you're lying on your deathbed, are you going to look back on a life of what-ifs? You're going to stare into the void, wishing you'd taken the harder road, the one that scared the hell out of you, but would have given you the pride of knowing you left nothing on the table? Or are you going to nod your head, battered, bruised, and victorious, knowing you took every damn step toward the person you were meant to be? The easy road is seductive. It whispers sweet lies in your ear. This is good enough. You don't need to push harder. Stay comfortable. Stay safe. But it's a trap. That smooth, paved highway leads straight to a life where you're nothing more than a shadow of your potential. It's the path of the weak, the path of the ones who let fear make their choices. Fear's a liar. but it's also a teacher. The moment you feel that knot in your stomach, that voice telling you, you can't do this, that's the signal. That's the direction you need to go. Fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you where the real work begins. And that work, it's ugly. It's relentless. It doesn't care about your excuses, your distractions, or your doubts. The hard road is chaos. It's littered with pain, rejection, and failure. It's full of people who will try to pull you down because they're too scared to climb. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Every scar, every failure, every gut-wrenching moment on that road is a brick in the foundation of your greatness. The hard road doesn't destroy you. It forges you. Most people don't have the guts to walk it. They see the obstacles and turn back. They settle for mediocrity because mediocrity doesn't demand sacrifice. But you're different. You wouldn't still be listening if something inside you wasn't hungry for more. That hunger is your soul screaming for the hard road. And if you ignore it, you'll live the rest of your life in quiet desperation, haunted by the person you could have been. Let me tell you what the hard road gives you. Freedom. Not the fake kind of freedom where you clock in and out of a life you hate, numbing yourself with distractions just to get through the day. No, I'm talking about the freedom to look yourself in the mirror and know you gave it everything. The freedom that comes from owning your scars, your pain, your grind. The freedom to say, I fucking earned this. But here's the thing. No one's going to hand you that freedom. You've got to fight for it every damn day. You've got to wake up when the alarm feels like a gunshot and drag yourself into the arena. You've got to outlast the pain, outthink the fear, and outwork every excuse your mind throws at you. You've got to become a warrior, not just physically, but mentally. Because the hard road doesn't just build your body, it builds your mind. Every time you push through the discomfort, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Every time you face a setback and get back up, you're rewriting the story of who you are. You're turning yourself into someone who doesn't just survive the hard road. They own it. This isn't just about success. This is about pride. The kind of pride that doesn't come from money or trophies, but from knowing you face the hardest challenges life threw at you and refused to back down. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing without a doubt that you are unstoppable. So here's your choice. Are you going to take the highway to nowhere? Or are you going to step onto that hard road, knowing full well it's going to break you before it builds you? The road to hell is easy. The road to greatness is hard as hell. But if you got the guts, the heart, and the fire, that hard road will lead you to a life most people can't even dream of.
They told me pain would make me stronger. They lied. Pain doesn't make you stronger. It tears you apart, piece by piece, until there's nothing left but a hollow shell of who you were. But maybe that's the point. Maybe strength isn't about what you gain. Maybe it's about what you lose, what you endure when the world rips your soul apart and expects you to keep standing. You think I wanted this? To be the last one standing? To carry the weight of their faces, their screams, their faith in me? I didn't ask for this war. I didn't choose this fight. But life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't care if you're strong enough. It breaks you again and again and again until you stop asking why, until you stop begging for it to stop. Why? That's the question, isn't it? Why do I keep going when every step feels like dragging a corpse behind me? Why do I still fight when every victory tastes like ash? Because I've learned something in the silence, in the darkness, in the moments when no one is watching. I've learned that the things that break you, the things that crush your soul and steal your hope, those are the things that build you, not into who you were, but into something else, something harder. Do you know what it's like to look in the mirror and not recognize the face staring back at you? To see the scars, the shadows, the empty eyes of a stranger. That's who I am now. Not the boy who dreamed of glory. Not the man who believed in honor. That boy died the first time he watched his comrades fall. That man vanished when he...
Please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. Support the channel by purchasing an Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Enjoy the rest of the video.
He realized there was no honor in war, only survival. What breaks you, builds you. That's what they say, isn't it? But they don't tell you what it costs. They don't tell you how it feels to carry the weight of every failure, every mistake, every life you couldn't save. They don't tell you that the things that build you also destroy you. They carve out your humanity and leave something else in its place. I've seen too much, felt too much, lost too much, and now I'm just here, still standing, because what else is there? Falling isn't an option. Giving up isn't in my blood. But that doesn't mean I don't feel it. The weight, the grief, the endless suffocating darkness that wraps around my chest and pulls me under. You think I'm strong? Look closer. Look at the cracks. Look at the pieces barely holding together. Strength isn't what you see on the surface. It's not the armor, the sword, the victories. Strength is getting up when every bone in your body is screaming at you to stay down. Strength is choosing to fight when you know you've already lost. And it hurts. God, it hurts. It's not the kind of pain that goes away. It's the kind that lingers, that digs into your soul and becomes a part of you. But you know what? I've learned to live with it. I've learned to carry it because the pain, The pain reminds me I'm still alive. It reminds me that I haven't given up. I've cried tears I'll never admit to. I've begged for a mercy that never came. But through it all, I've kept walking, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Not because I'm strong, but because I don't know how to stop. Because stopping means letting the pain win. And I can't let it win. I won't. So here I am, broken, bruised, bleeding, but still standing, still fighting. Because that's what warriors do. We don't fight for glory. We don't fight for honor. We fight because there's nothing else. Because the world doesn't stop breaking you just because you've had enough. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the world breaks us to show us what we're made of. To strip away the illusions and leave us raw and exposed. To remind us that we're not invincible. But we're not weak either. We're human. Flawed, fragile, and yet unyielding. So here's the truth. Life will break you over and over and over again. It will tear you down until you think there's nothing left. But there's always something left. A spark, a fragment, a sliver of hope buried beneath the rubble. And that's enough. It has to be enough. Because if I've learned anything, it's this. What breaks you doesn't just build you. It reveals you. It shows you who you are when there's nothing left to hide behind. When the world takes everything and you're forced to stand naked and alone. That's when you see the truth. And the truth is this. I'm not strong because I've never fallen. I'm strong because I've fallen 1,000 times and gotten back up 1,001. I'm not fearless because I don't feel pain. I'm fearless because I feel it every day and keep moving forward. So, if you're listening, if you're out there fighting your own battles, carrying your own scars, remember this. It's okay to break. It's okay to cry. It's okay to fall apart. Just don't stay there. Don't let the darkness win. Don't let the pain define you. Because what breaks you builds you. And you're stronger than you think. You know what? They don't tell you. The worst battles you fight aren't with swords or shields. They're not on blood-soaked fields or in the screams of dying men. No.
You know, I've come to realize something cold, something brutal. I don't need anyone. Not their pity, not their fake smiles. not their hollow promises that ring like empty cans in the wind. All my life I've been waiting for someone to show up, for someone to prove me wrong, for someone to tell me I'm worth more than the dirt under their boots. And guess what? Nobody came. And maybe that's for the best. Because now, I'm done waiting, done hoping, done bleeding for people who wouldn't even flinch if I disappeared. You think this world owes you something? You think if you cry loud enough, somebody will hear you? No. This world is deaf. This world is blind. This world is cruel. The only thing that ever answered me was the silence. And you know what silence taught me? It taught me that the only person who's ever going to have my back is me. It's me against the void, me against the pain. Me against the memories that claw at my mind like a pack of wolves. I've been broken over and over and over, and every time I thought, this is it. This is the one that's gonna shatter me completely. But here I am, still standing, still breathing. I've been burned, stabbed, betrayed, left for dead. But guess what? Scars heal, wounds close, and what's left behind is tougher than before. People like to throw around the word warrior like it's a badge, like it's something to be proud of. They don't understand what it really means. Being a warrior doesn't mean you're fearless. It doesn't mean you're strong all the time. Being a warrior means you keep fighting when there's nothing left in the tank.
Please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. Support the channel by purchasing an Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Enjoy the rest of the video.
When your knees buckle and your fists shake and your heart screams at you to stop, you keep going, not because you want to, but because you have to. I am my own warrior, my own savior, my own damn army. Nobody's coming to rescue me. Nobody's coming to pull me out of the darkness. So I've learned to make the darkness my ally. I've learned to find strength in the shadows. They want you to believe you need them, that you're weak without their validation, that you're nothing without their approval. But let me tell you something. They're the weak ones. They hide behind their lies and their masks and their comfortable little illusions. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle the grind. But me, I live in the truth. I live in the grind. It's ugly. It's brutal. It's lonely. But it's real. And real beats fake every damn time. You think you're at your lowest? You think there's nothing left? Good. That's the best place to start. Because when you've got nothing to lose. You can rebuild from the ashes. You can take every piece of yourself that they broke and forge it into something stronger. Pain, that's fuel. Anger, that's a weapon. Fear, that's a compass pointing you toward what matters. Use it. Don't let it break you. Let it shape you. They'll call you cold. They'll call you heartless. They'll say you've changed. Good. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Let them shout. Because while they're wasting their breath, you'll be grinding. While they're watching, you'll be building. And when they finally realize what you've become, it'll be too late for them to catch up. I don't need anyone to believe in me. I don't need anyone to cheer me on. I'll clap for my damn self. I'll stand in the fire alone if I have to. Because that's what warriors do. We don't run. We don't quit. We don't bow. Yeah, it's lonely. Yeah, it hurts. But I'd rather walk this path alone than be surrounded by people who don't get it. Who don't get me. Every scar on my body is a story. Every crack in my soul is a reminder. I survived. I endured. And I'm still here. So no, I don't need your handouts. I don't need your approval. I don't need your love. I've got my own back. I've got my own fire. And that's enough. Let them underestimate me. Let them think I'm weak. Let them laugh. Because when the dust settles, when the smoke clears, I'll still be standing, alone, unshaken, unbroken. I don't need anyone, not anymore, on my own. And that's enough. You think I don't feel the weight of it all? Every damn day, it's there. Pressing down, choking the air out of my lungs, whispering in my ear that I should give up. But here's the thing, I won't. I've learned to carry the weight. I've learned to make it my armor. Because while the world wants to crush me, I've decided to use every ounce of that pressure to forge myself into something unbreakable. They don't see the fights I've had with myself, the nights where sleep felt like a luxury I didn't deserve, the mornings where I had to drag myself out of bed because the world didn't care if I stayed down. No one cares if you don't get back up. The world keeps spinning. The sun still rises. People still move on. And if you don't rise with them, you're forgotten. So I rise every damn time. Not for them, not for some pat on the back or a round of applause. I do it because that's who I am. That's what I've chosen to be. You ever sit alone long enough to hear the echoes of your own silence? That's when the truth starts whispering in your ear. A truth most people don't have the guts to face. See, the world don't care about your pain. It don't care about your tears, your struggles, or the nights you spent bleeding into your own hands. The world, it's indifferent, and the strongest ones, the ones who claw their way out of the pit, they learn that the hard way, alone, always alone. People love to talk about loyalty, about family, about brotherhood. But let me tell you something. Loyalty fades when the fire gets too hot. Family turns their backs when the storm gets too wild. Brotherhood, that's just a word. When you hit the ground, broken and gasping, don't expect anyone to lift you up. They'll step over your body and move on like you never existed. That's the truth. The strongest warriors don't rise because someone saved them. They rise because they saved themselves. You want to know why the strongest are always alone? It's because we see the world for what it really is, a battlefield. And on the battlefield, you trust no one but yourself. Trust gets you killed. Hope gets you betrayed. Love carves a hole so deep in your chest, you'll spend the rest of your life trying to fill it with ashes. You think I'm wrong. Look back at every time you opened your heart, every time you let someone in. Where are they now? Gone. But you're still here, barely breathing but alive. And that's all that matters. Pain changes you. It sharpens you, hardens you. It carves away the weak parts until all that's left is something raw, unbreakable. Pain teaches you lessons the soft hearts will never understand.
Please, take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you, so all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
You're a warrior, and warriors don't get sympathy. And it gets at the top. That's because most people don't make it. They give up. They crumble. But you keep climbing, clawing your way through the mud, the blood, and the lies. And when you get there, when you stand at the top of the mountain, you'll look around and realize there's no one else. The summit is cold, silent, and lonely. But that's where the strongest stand, alone, watching the weak crumble below. You think strength comes from numbers, from having people by your side? Nah, strength comes from standing when your legs are broken, from fighting when your hands are shaking, from walking through fire and coming out alive, alone. You've been abandoned, betrayed, forgotten. Good. Use it. Let it fuel you. Let their absence remind you that you don't need anyone. Every scar, every tear, every ounce of pain. That's your story. That's your power. Wear it like a crown. People fear the ones who don't break, who don't bend. They'll try to label you cold, cruel, heartless. Let them. Because those labels, they're just words. And words don't cut as deep as the knives you've already pulled from your back. You've got nothing to prove to them, nothing to show. Your silence will scream louder than their empty voices ever could. You were born into this war, and no one handed you a map. No one gave you a way out. But you survived, barely.
Ah, so you have found yourself here. In a moment of doubt, perhaps, or a quest for purpose. Good. You seek answers, and answers, my friend, are born from the fires of challenge. You see, darkness surrounds us all at times, but the darkness is not your enemy. No, it is your teacher. Many fear the shadows. They cling to the light, afraid to face what lies beyond. But those who truly rise, the unstoppable, the unyielding, they learn to own the darkness, to wield it as a tool, a shield, a weapon. What is pain but the body's way of reminding you that you are alive? What is fear but the mind's way of urging you to grow? Do not seek an easy path. The easy path is a false friend. It whispers comfort but denies you the glory of transformation. You were not born for mediocrity. Remember, there is power in your struggle. There is fire in your fight. Do you remember your first fall? The scrape of the earth against your skin. Did you stay down? Remember, you rose. You rose because rising is what you were meant to do. Ah, but the world, it will test you. It will place walls before you, and it will whisper, "You cannot climb this." Laugh at those walls. They are but illusions, built by those too afraid to reach higher. Do not fear failure. Fear stagnation. Fear standing still while the world marches forward. Understand this. Every setback is a lesson. Every obstacle, a gift. Life does not happen to you. It happens for you. When the storm comes, do not cower. Stand tall, arms wide, and proclaim, "Is this all you have?" You are the storm. You are the unshakable force. You are the architect of your destiny. Look around you. The world waits for your greatness. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now rise from your fears, rise from your doubts, and step into the light. Not as a follower, but as a force to be reckoned with. You have what it takes. You always have. So you come to me seeking wisdom, hope, perhaps. It is not an unusual thing to desire in a world that feels like it conspires to crush the spirit. But let me tell you a truth most shy away from. Hope alone is a beggar's gift. It is action that defines you. You see, we are all born into shadows, weak, helpless, and unfamiliar with the strength within us. Life does not hand you a map. It offers obstacles, each more daunting than the last. Please, take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you, so all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video. But therein lies the gift. Strength is born from struggle. It is not comfort that molds the extraordinary. Number. It is the moments you are knocked down, the moments you feel the weight of the world pressing upon you. Those are your trials. Those are your fires. Do not fear the fall, for the ground is a teacher. Do not cower before failure, it is the womb of growth. Each stumble is a lesson. Each scar is a testament. And every time you rise, you're not the same as before. You are more. Greatness does not call upon the chosen. It waits for those bold enough to choose it. There is no destiny except the one you seize, and seize it you must. Not timidly, but with the ferocity of one who knows the darkness too well to be swallowed by it again. Do not rise for yourself alone. No, that is the way of the selfish and the small. Rise for those beside you, for those who cannot yet find their footing. When you lift another, you lift the world. And when you stand united, no shadow can devour the light you create. Many will doubt you. Some will mock you. Let them. Their words are hollow whispers, their doubts the echoes of their own fears. You are not them. You are more. So rise, not because the world demands it, but because you demand it of yourself. Rise, because the shadows fear those who walk through them unafraid. Rise, because your strength, your vision, your heart, these are your weapons. And when the day comes when you look back upon the journey, you will see. So go forth, my friend. Carve your name into history. Embrace the struggle, for it is your ally. Rise from the ashes, not as who you were, but as who you were always destined to become.